Recording. Good evening, guys. So in the previous session, I covered these concepts. What is the importance of performance testing? What are the prerequisites for performance testing, right? And application architecture. What is meant by architecture diagram, right? And two-tier versus three-tier architecture and n-tier architecture, right? Now, so like in this session, I am going to cover performance testing life cycle. Performance testing life cycle, right? So these are the phases in performance testing life cycle. So first, in performance test project, if it is a service-based company, right, or else if it is a service-based company, any performance test project starts with something called RFI, right? Where RFI stands for request for information, okay, and RFP stands for request for proposal. RFP stands for request for proposal, right? So this is a sample RFI. First of all, RFI stands for request for information. RFP stands for request for proposal, and this is how a typical RFI looks like. Okay, so let me give the context first. Suppose some client or any client want to do performance testing for their application. Right? Now they have to look for some service-based company like TCS or CTS or Tech Mahindra, right? Or QO Box or some other organization, QA organization, right? So they have to look for some QA company, quality analysis company, right? Or they have to look for an IT services company, right? And they have to they should get their work done, right? And now which company to give that, right? So first and foremost thing is the client, who is looking for some IT service, right? Then float something called RFI, request for information. So RFI stands for a RFI contains of standard set of questions like this, right? Now understand this RFI. So client is asking these questions to the service-based company. Okay, I removed the company name here and I kept a placeholder here, guys. Okay, so this is one of the RFI that I prepared when I was working for a service-based company. I removed the organization name and I kept a placeholder here. Clear, guys? Why I kept this service-based company in angle brackets? This is just a placeholder. Guys, am I audible, guys?
Yes, audible.
Yes.
Right. So
Yes,
the client is asking these questions to the service-based company. So what portion of your business is dedicated to performance testing? And how many full-time, part-time contract performance testing staff members are there at your organization? What are the typical roles and responsibilities of your performance team structure, right? So whatever you see, whatever questions you see in bold color, right? In bold, right? So those are the questions asked in the RFI. Now, sir, I was working in a service-based company at that time. I prepared this RFI responses to this, and I shared this, these responses to the client. Here, guys. So I was working in a service-based company at that time, and that organization has 12% of the total business is from performance testing assignments. Means there will be a lot of other development projects, testing projects, and all, right. Out of those, all the IT services, 12% of our business is from performance testing assignments. So this is the response that I have sent. Is it clear, guys? What is this document?
Yeah.
And what are the typical roles and responsibilities of your performance team structure? Right. So we have different designations like performance architect, performance test manager, performance test lead, senior software engineer, and so on. Senior performance tester or lead, right? And performance tester. So these are the different roles and responsibilities that we have. Different roles that we have and their responsibilities. Clear, guys? And what is the average team size for performance projects? Means how many members will be there in each team in the current projects, running projects, and describe your onboarding process. What is the onboarding process, right? So client is asking certain questions like this to understand like what are the capabilities of the service-based companies, or right? So who are responding to that RFI? Okay. Now client will get such response from multiple service-based companies. Okay. Once they post this RFI, their requirement, right? Multiple service-based companies will be competing for to get that project, right? So each service-based company respond with their details, and client receives these such kind of responses from multiple service-based companies. Now, out of those, client will select some shortlist, some 4 to 5, and they will explain that whatever RFI they like, right? They will shortlist 4 or 5 organizations, and they will schedule some one-on-one meetings, and they will explain about their requirement, about their application and their requirements. Okay, is it clear, guys? So if client shortlist like 4 to 5 companies, right, every day one or two companies, they will schedule interviews. Sorry, they will schedule calls with 1 or 2 client service-based companies. They will explain their application architecture and ask them to submit a proposal. That is called as RFP, request for proposal. Okay, so let me give some analogy for this. Let me give some real life example for this. Okay, suppose you want to buy a apartment, right? You want to buy an apartment, right? So you will post your requirement somewhere in Magic Bricks or something, isn't it? Magic Bricks or 99 acres or common floor. You will post a requirement if you are, if you don't want to roam around. So you will post your requirement in some Magic Bricks or nobroker.com. Nowadays, nobroker.com is popular, right? So you will post your requirement saying that, I need a 2 BHK or something like that, right? Now, different builders may be responding to that. Yes or no? You'll get, response from different builders. Yes or no, guys?
Yes, yes.
Right? And now you will tell your requirement once different builders respond to you, right? Or marketing agents respond to you, right? You will tell your requirement like, what, I am looking for a 2 BHK or a 3 BHK or 4 BHK, and this is my budget, right? So in the same way, like once different service-based company respond to RFI, client will have meeting with different service-based companies, and he will explain the requirement, right? And ask him to come up with a proposal, right? In this example, in our example, apartment example, right? So we will interact, like when different builders respond to you, right? So we will ask them a quotation, right? We'll ask them a quotation, like, and specifications, their area and the specifications and all, isn't it? And out of those, like, you will finalize one, right? You will finalize one property. Clear, guys? So in the same way, like, once the client gets the solution document from different service-based company, so he will finalize one service-based company and award that project to give that project to that service-based company. So whatever, based on the solution, whatever solution they like, or RFP contains like commercials as well. Commercials in the sense, what is the billing rate and all, what would be the overall cost and all, right? So based on their budget and based on how much they like, or how much it suits their requirement, right? So they will award a project to one of the service-based companies out of this, right? Now, once we get a project, once a service-based company gets a project, right? Now, next phase would be requirement gathering phase. Requirement gathering phase. When I say requirement gathering phase, these are non-functional requirements that we collect, right? In performance testing, we are bothered about non-functional requirements. Okay, so we collect the requirements from the client in detail now. Once we get the project phase, assume that we are working in a service-based company, and once we get the project, all the team members will be involved from this requirement gathering phase. Now this RFA and RFP, like your team lead or project manager or architects will be taking care of that. You need not bother about that RFA and RFP, how to respond to that RFA and how to respond to that RFP. So, however, all the team members will be involved from this requirement gathering phase. Now what you do is, like, you will share a requirement gathering questionnaire to the client. I will share one sample requirement gathering questionnaire to you, right? And client should respond to that requirement gathering. We'll discuss what is meant by requirement gathering and what are questions you will be having in that requirement gathering form document. Okay. So you will collect detailed requirement gathering, non-functional requirements from the client. Let's say what is the URL of the application, what is the user load of the application, what is the target user load of the application that we have to test, what are the critical business flows, right? All these will be collected as part of this requirement gathering, right? I'll explain in detail, like requirement gathering can be broadly classified into three types: general, architectural, and business. I'll explain those in detail. First, let's understand the performance testing life cycle. Okay. So once you collect the requirements from the client, right? So you'll prepare something called a test plan document. You'll prepare a document called Word document called test plan document. So whatever details you collected in the requirement gathering phase, right? You will be mentioning in the test plan document, right? And you will be sharing with your client for a sign off. Sign off means approval from the client. We should get an approval from the client. Okay. Clear, guys? So I'll share you sample test plan document also, and I will share you, like, I'll explain in the tomorrow session. I'll explain what are the components of a test plan, what all details will be provided in the test plan document. Okay, so I'll cover that in the next session. So once you get a sign off, once you get an approval from the client for the test plan, right, you will start scripting. Now from this phase, all the resources will be involved, or whether it is junior resource or senior resource or team lead or project lead, right? Every resource will be involved from here, right? And now once you get an approval from the client for the test plan document, right, you will start working on the scripting. We'll start developing the performance test scripts. Clear, guys? So that is the next phase, that is scripting phase. Yes, this is very important interview question, guys. Can you explain the performance testing life cycle, right? Or what are the different phases in performance testing life cycle? Performance testing life cycle, right? Or what are the different phases in PT life cycle? Okay. Yeah. So once we get the approval from the client for test plan document, we will start scripting. Okay. Now once mostly here, like, junior resources will be involved in scripting. The team lead and project lead will not be involved directly, but junior resources like software engineer or senior software engineer, they will be involved in this scripting, right? And now once you develop the using some tool, like, so in the requirement gathering, you will understand like which tool you have to use, and you will provide that in the test plan document, what tool you are going to use. Now you will start using that tool and start creating the performance test scripts, right? So once you develop the scripts, right, like someone should review the scripts. A senior resource in the team or your team lead or project lead should ideally review the scripts. Review the scripts means they have to verify the scripts, right? And they have to do sanity testing of each script, means they have to replay the script and check whether it is working as expected or not. Clear, guys? Right? Some senior resource in the team should be reviewing the scripts and verifying whether they are working fine or not, right? So that is script review phase. And once that is done, right, so sanity testing is done, right, then we set up the test environment. Means we set up the test environment means, so this is the environment, like, if an test environment already exists, we will use that. Otherwise, like, we will install the tools required in the test environment, whether it is JMeter or load runner or NeoLoad, right? We will be installing the required tools and monitoring tools in the test environment. Okay, that's it, guys. Setting up test environment means installing the performance testing tools and monitoring tools. Okay. Now, once the test environment is ready, right, we will do something called smoke test or sanity or a dry run or a trial run or a shakeout test. All these are one and the same test. Some organizations call it as smoke test. Some people call it as sanity. Some people call it as dry run. Some people call it as a trial run, or some people call it as a shakeout test, right? The purpose of these tests is to identify if there are any script issues or environment issues. Okay, this is to identify and fix the script or test environment issues. Clear, guys? Any queries?
Yes.
Okay. I'm expecting that you should get one question now. I'm expecting some questions from you, queries from you. So, do you have any queries or shall I ask you? Here we did a sanity testing of each script, right? Then why should we do sanity again for in the test environment?
So when we are having all the scripts together, we should do that again to reconfirm.
Right. So
So
here we do
identifying the any
sanity
fixing
testing.
issues having. Yeah.
Yeah. So we do the script review and sanity testing of each script from our local machine or a remote machine. Okay, from our office laptop or your remote machine. So, however, again, once the test environment is ready, right, we have to make sure that the scripts are working in that test environment. Okay, application should be accessible from the test environment servers, and we should not have any environment issues. Here, guys, and we will run all the scripts together here. Here, like we may be running each scripts individually here. We may be testing each scripts individually here. So, but however, once the test environment is ready, right, we have to verify all the scripts together, right? And we have to do a trial run or a dry run. Okay. Now, once this step phase is completed, right, then we start the test executions. So test executions again depends on the application, depends on the requirement. It can be load test, RS test, RS soap test, and so on. We already discussed what are the different types of performance testing in one of the previous session, last session, right? Now, once the test execution is completed, whether it is load test or stress test or soap test, right? So we have to prepare a high level report first on the same day of test execution, right? We are supposed to share a high level report of the test on the same day of test execution. And we also have to prepare a detailed report and we have to share it to the client. So you may take some 1 or 2 days time for this detailed report. Clear, guys? So high level report, like you provide very few details, and in detailed report you need you provide all the details, important information. So I'll explain like what does a high level report should contain and what does a detailed report should contain, right? I'll explain those in the coming up sessions. Okay. So in the reporting phase, right? So as soon as the test is completed, we will share a high level report, and then after 1 or 2 days, like you will analyze the test results thoroughly, and you will prepare a detailed report with server side metrics and so on. Okay. I'll explain later on like what does typically what does a high level report contains and what does a detailed report should be having, right? In the reporting phase. Now we analyze the results, not so in the detailed report, right? When we are preparing the detailed report, right? So we have to analyze the test results and provide any recommendations. If there are any performance issues, definitely there will be having some performance issues, right? So we have to analyze the test results and provide the recommendations. Okay. Now who does this job, right? Again, this job will be done by your team lead or project lead or some senior resources. So junior resources will be doing from here to here, from requirement gathering to load test execution. They can do it till here. These would be the main roles and responsibilities for some 2 to 3 years experience guys, or 4 to 5 years experience guys. Right now, this high level report, preparing high level report, it's simple. Anyone can prepare this. Detailed report, like you need to like someone who is working on the detailed report, right? They should know how to analyze the test results and how to what recommendations to provide, right? So generally your senior software engineer or a team lead or project lead will be doing this analysis and preparing the detailed report and providing analysis and recommendations, right? Now, once we provide some, let's say for example, you identified some performance issue. I'll take some simple example. Let's say you mentioned that the RAM is not sufficient on the DB server, for instance, just for an example. You saw some memory hitting 100% on the DB server or 80%, right? And you saw some performance issues. You observed some performance issue. Now what client will do is either he will increase the RAM or he will try to find out why there is high RAM utilization, or you have to find out like why there is, what are the possible reasons for high RAM utilization on the database server. I'm just giving an example, right? And you may provide some recommendations. Your team lead or project lead may be providing some recommendations in the detailed report, right? And now, like client will fix those performance issues, and they will come for a retest, or they will ask you to do a retest again to verify whether those issues are performance issues are eliminated or not, right? So let me give one example here. Suppose you want to give your bike for servicing, right? Let's say you are getting very poor mileage from your bike or car, right? And now what do you do, guys? You go to a service center, right? You go to a technician, and you'll ask like what service should be done for that vehicle, isn't it? And now once the technician or once the mechanic does those, right, he will test it, right? He'll go for a test ride, and he will check it, right? Whether the engine tuning is good, pickup is good, and all. He will check it, right? Once the servicing is completed, yes or no? Or he may ask you to check whether check the pickup and all,
Yeah,
isn't it?
yeah, yes.
Right? So in the similar way, once the client or once the development team does this changes, right? Does the implement the performance tuning, right? We validate that application tuning. We will validate by doing another round of testing. Okay, and make sure that all the issues are eliminated, all the performance issues are eliminated. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah, like a bugs fixed.
Yes.
Right. So yeah. So once the developers fix the bug, right, they will ask you to retest, isn't it? So in the same
Yes.
way, like in performance testing also, once we provide some recommendations and the developers or DBA fixes those issues, right? Then we do another round of testing to validate the application tuning and make sure that the bottlenecks are eliminated. Bottlenecks means performance issues. Bottlenecks means nothing but issues here, right? So performance issues are eliminated, right? Once we make sure that all the issues are identified, right? Suppose if the bottlenecks are not eliminated, if the issues are not found, sorted out, right? Then again, like you have to see what tuning can be done. How can we improve the performance of the application? And we will ask them to do that again, and again we may need to do another round of testing, right? Now once all the issues are identified and eliminated, right, so we will be submitting a final report and ask the client to give a sign off means again approval here, right? We will ask the client to give a we will share our final report and ask the client to approve the sign off, right? And there now if it is a service based project, right, these are the different phases in performance testing life cycle. And once you get a sign off from the client for project closure, then the project will be completed. Clear, guys? Any queries, guys, now? So this is a typical performance testing life cycle in any service-based company, right? I hope everyone knows what is meant by service-based company and product-based company. So let me quickly explain. So service-based companies means those provide their IT services to other companies, right? Those are called as service-based companies. Examples, guys?
TCS, Infosys, CTS,
Right.
Tech Mahindra.
Yeah, Tech Mahindra.
Taking the contract and providing service to the
right,
product
taking
based
a contract and providing service. Right, those are all service-based companies, right? And how about product-based companies?
Microsoft.
Bank of America, Microsoft, Franklin Templeton, HSBC.
Right. Product-based
Deloitte.
companies
State
means
Bank.
Deloitte.
They have their own product. We are
right,
working
they
on that.
develop their own products and test their own products. Right? So you have a lot of examples like Bank of America, yeah, Microsoft, JP Morgan, right? SAP Labs, right? And all these are all product-based companies. Right? Or Facebook, or like ServiceNow, right? These are all product-based companies, isn't it? Salesforce, ServiceNow, right? So these are all product-based companies. Okay. And now interesting thing is like, you know, how much, what is the package that we get for performance testing, guys, in these service-based and product-based companies? Interested
No
to
idea.
know those?
Yeah.
Repeat that question. I didn't hear.
What is that?
I didn't hear you. Can you repeat the question?
Now, how much these, these companies pay to the performance testing units?
Oh, okay. No, I don't know.
Okay. So generally, like these service-based companies are product, so it of course it differs from companies to company, but I'm talking about average salaries. Okay. So service-based companies average salaries will be somewhere around number of years experience into 3 lakhs, 3 lakhs to 4 lakhs. Okay. So this is the current average package, and in a service-based company. And now product-based companies are paying number of years experience into 4 to 5 lakhs. So, I'll take average numbers. So somewhere around 2 lakhs to 3 lakhs. Sorry. Number of years experience means, that means suppose, someone is having 3 years experience, right? They can expect from 6 lakhs to around, now 10 lakhs or 12 lakhs. Okay. So few of my students got 12.5 lakhs package also for 3 years experience. Okay. 6 to 12 lakhs. Let me modify this. Right? And now this is in a service-based company, by the way. And in a product-based company, like let me give the average range of the packages in a product-based company also. Particularly for the past 1 year, recruitment is in full swing, and these are the packages for the past 1 year, guys. Not before that. Previously, it used to be something like this: 2 lakhs to max 3 lakhs. That is the maximum previously, right? However, from the past 1 year, like this has gone up to like number of years experience to 4 lakhs. Okay. So my students like who are trained, who took training from me, and I'll tell you like, one more important thing. One D pharmacy girl got 12.5 lakhs package for 3 years experience. The qualification is D pharmacy. And in product-based companies, the packages are number of years experience into 3 lakhs would be the minimum, and 5 lakhs would be the, I'm considering the average packages. Number of years experience into 3 lakhs to 5 lakhs. So for 3 years experience, you can expect, if you are able to crack an interview in a product-based company, right? You can expect from 9 to 15 lakhs. 15 lakhs packages. All right.
Numbers are great.
Yes. So I'll give you,
Okay.
yeah. So I'll give you some, I'll give you some examples, that I know. So Salesforce, I think Salesforce offered 55 lakhs package for 10 years experience tech last year. This is a year back in Hyderabad, right? As far as I know, right, this is the highest package that I know. And I know some people like who are having like who are drawing 17 lakhs package for 3 years experience. Sorry, 4 years experience. Okay.
I mean, only for performance testing, including other experiences.
What is that?
Means only for performance testing experience, or that means any other experience.
Only for
other
performance
than
testing experience. Yes, it's only for performance testing experience.
Okay.
So sales was 17 lakhs package for I know people who got for 4 years experience in Hyderabad. They had some package around like 17 lakhs. This is an year back, by the way. For the last 1 year, recruitment is very good, and packages that they are getting is extraordinary. 1 second, guys. And one of my students got like 16.5 lakhs package for 4 years experience in Bangalore. 4 years experience. Okay. And the company name is Villas of Bangalore. This is the highest package one of my students got till date for 4 years experience. And she was like, she previously she had some experience in manual testing, and she took training in performance from me. Her name is, I remember that as Sweta, Hemasweta or something. Hemasweta. Yeah. All right. So these are the packages for performance testing instances. Interesting,
Yes,
right?
sir. Yes.
I can show some offer letters also. Like if you are, second, if you contact me directly, right, I can show some of their offer letters as well. So these are typical performance testing life cycle, right? Now, so I explained what is RFI and RFP, and I'll share a requirement gathering template, okay, and I'll share a test plan document as well, right? And we will discuss tomorrow like requirement gathering, what is requirement gathering, and what are the requirements that we collect in this requirement gathering phase, and how to prepare a test plan document, and what are the components of a test plan document, right? And once these 2 sessions are completed, right? So one session, I need 1 to 2 sessions for requirement gathering and 1 session for test plan document. Then we will start scripting this. Okay. If required, I need to explain few more basic concepts or basic definitions, and a few more concepts like HTTP basics, what is a cookie, and what is a request response cycle, right? So what is CSS, JavaScript, XML? So I need to explain this. Then I will start scripting most probably from next week. Okay. I will stop it here, guys, for today.